Welcome back to the deep dive. We have got a really interesting one today. Usually when we talk about fintech, everyone immediately pictures a flashy app with like a neon debit card.
Or some AI bot that promises to budget your entire life for you.
Exactly. But today, we are going completely in the other direction. We are popping the hood on the actual engine of the global financial system.
That's a great way to put it. We aren't talking about the storefront. We're talking about the plumbing, the heavy, heavy infrastructure that makes the whole thing work.
Right. And specifically, we're looking at a company that you have likely never thought about, even though they probably handle your money every single day. We are unpacking the annual report for Oracle Financial Services Software, or OFSS.
And I know what you might be thinking. Oracle, isn't that just legacy software, dinosaurs, and mainframes?
Right.
But if you actually sit down and look at this report, which we have done, you see numbers that would make a Silicon Valley unicorn absolutely weep with jealousy.
That is actually where I want to start. I opened this report expecting a slow, lumbering giant. Instead, I saw a profit machine. Let's just throw out the headline numbers. Consolidated revenues of 68.5 billion rupees.
Which is a massive number.
It's huge, up 7% from the previous year. But, revenue's vanity, right? We always say profit is sanity. The number that stopped me cold, and I actually had to double check this, was the net margin.
The net margin.
35%.
35%.
That just feels illegal. In a world where most software companies are burning cash, how is a company like this sitting on a 35% profit margin?
That is the central mystery we need to solve today. How do they do it? And more importantly, what does it tell us about the state of banking? Because OFSS sits right at this weird intersection of, boring, stable banking and cutting-edge cloud AI.
So our mission for this deep dive is to figure that out. We're going to dissect what I'm calling the financial fortress, look at this pivot to the cloud that they claim is happening, and then, and I'm really excited for this part, we have to talk about agentic AI.
Oh, yeah. That moves way past the hype.
It really does. Okay, let's start with the money. Segment 1, the financial fortress. You mentioned the 7% revenue growth to 68.5 billion. Now, playing devil's advocate here, 7% isn't exactly rocket ship growth, is it? If I'm an investor, I might be a little bored.
Sure, if you're looking for a rocket ship that might explode on the launch pad, look elsewhere. But you have to look at the quality of that 7%. Context is everything. This is a mature player in a highly regulated market, global banking. During a year, the report itself calls full of geopolitical challenges.
So it's stability over volatility.
Precisely. But the real secret sauce isn't the top-line growth, it's the composition of that revenue. Did you catch the split between products and services?
I did, and it seemed really lopsided. Products make up 91% of their revenue. Only 9% is services. Why does that ratio matter so much?
This is maybe the single most important metric for understanding their profitability. Think about it this way. If I run a consulting firm that's services, and I want to double my revenue, what do I have to do?
You have to hire twice as many consultants. You need more laptops, more people, more everything.
Exactly. My costs go up almost as fast as my revenue. My margins are tight because I'm selling time. But OFSS is a product company. They build the software like Oracle FlexCube once.
And then they sell it 1,000 times.
1,000 times. Right. Selling that license to the 100th bank costs them virtually zero marginal dollars. That's what we call operating leverage.
Oh, okay.
And that is why, when you look further down, you see their operating margin rising to 44% this year.
Wait, 44% operating margin.
44%. For every dollar they bring in, 44 cents is operating profit. It's an incredible engine.
So every new sale they make is almost pure profit at this stage.
Pretty much. The chairperson had a great line in the report saying, because they serve customers everywhere, the sun really never sets for them. That global scale is just a cash printing machine.
Speaking of printing cash, we have to talk about what they do with it.
No, they're not hoarding it.
Not at all. I'm looking at the dividend section, an interim dividend of 265 rupees per share. That's up over 10%.
And if you zoom out, they've paid out a cumulative dividend of 1,120 rupees per share over 5 years.
That is massive. It signals a very specific philosophy.
It does. And remember, this company has zero debt. None.
Zero.
In an environment with high interest rates, having zero debt is like a superpower. They don't answer to creditors, they answer to shareholders.
It's so old school for a tech company, though.
Yeah.
We make a profit, we have no debt, we pay you cash, It's the anti-startup.
It is. It's the financial rock status. But, and here's the catch.
There's always a catch.
Rocks don't move. And the tech world moves incredibly fast. If you are just a cash cow milking old software, eventually you die.
That was my exact worry. Are they just milking a dying cow? But then you get to the section on strategic agility.
Exactly. This is where the story shifts from maintenance to evolution.
They talk a lot about the cloud, and I feel like cloud has been a buzzword for, 15 years now? Why is this a big deal for a bank now?
Because banks have been terrified of the cloud.
Why security?
Security, compliance, the sheer complexity. A bank wants to control everything in their own basement, on premise. But those old systems are so clunky. Launching a new credit card on a mainframe from 1990 might take 6 months.
While some fintech startup does it in a weekend.
Exactly. So banks are being forced to move, and cloud native is the term you see all over this report.
Can you define that? It doesn't just mean we put the software on the internet, right?
No, definitely not. Cloud native means the software is completely re-architected. Instead of one giant block of code, it's broken into tiny, flexible pieces, microservices that live in the cloud.
So it can scale up and down.
Instantly. If the bank gets 1 million customers on Black Friday, the system just expands to handle it, then shrinks back down.
And you only pay for what you use.
Correct. It transforms their agility. And this is where OFSS is really growing. Their license and cloud revenues grew by 13%.
So that's the growth engine. That's proof they aren't just a dinosaur.
Yes. And they listed some specific new launches like Oracle Banking Retail Lending Servicing Cloud Service.
Which is a mouthful.
It is, but think about what it does. Retail lending mortgages, car loans, that's heavy paper-intensive work. By moving just that one function to the cloud, a bank can process loans faster, with fewer errors, and scale up instantly.
So OFSS is basically saying, let's move these heavy functions to the cloud so you can compete with the fintechs.
Precisely. And because they're 73% owned by Oracle Corporation, they have a huge advantage.
I wanted to ask about that. Does having a big brother like Oracle help or hurt?
It helps immensely here because Oracle owns the data centers, the Oracle Cloud infrastructure. So OFSS isn't just selling the software, they can offer the software and the house it lives in. It's a one-stop shop.
It's like buying the car and owning the gas station.
It is. It gives them a resource pool a competitor just can't match. And that allows them to invest heavily in R&D. Which brings us to the biggest R&D investment of all.
AI.
AI.
Okay, let's pivot to this because this was the part of the report that actually surprised me. Every company has an AI strategy. Usually it means we added a chatbot.
Right.
But OFSS seems to be doing something heavier.
They are. The report explicitly says they are moving from AI hype to embedded AI reality.
And embedded is the key word there.
Yes. It means AI isn't a side feature. It's baked into the core transaction. But did you catch the part about the rogue agents?
Yes. Agentic AI. I circled that 3 times. Explain this to me.
Okay, so traditionally, to test your bank's security, you hire humans, red teamers, to try and hack it. But humans are slow and expensive. OFSS is building AI specifically to attack their own systems.
So they're building the bank robber.
An army of AI bank robbers. These rogue agents simulate money laundering, complex fraud schemes, everything. They try to break the system. And the defense AI has to spot them and stop them in real time.
So it's AI fighting AI.
It's a simulation of an arms race. And because the AI runs these simulations millions of times, the defense gets smarter faster than any human team ever could. It keeps them ahead of the crooks, as the report says.
That is incredibly clever because the real crooks are using AI now, aren't they?
Of course they are. The patterns of financial crime are too complex for humans to spot anymore. You need a machine to catch a machine.
But it's not just about stopping crime, right? They talk about using this for making money, too.
Right, that's the offense side. Things like automated advisory and credit decisioning.
Credit decisioning seems like a high-stakes place to put an AI.
It is, but it's also where the bottleneck is. You apply for a small business loan, a human has to review all your documents. It takes days.
And I'm waiting, getting annoyed.
Exactly. The embedded AI can ingest all that data, analyze the risk, and recommend a decision in seconds.
Real-time lending.
Real time. And the report says this allows banks to target high-risk and high ROI areas with more confidence. You can lend to people you might have rejected before because you understand the risk better.
So it turns the bank from a paper pusher into a data-driven machine. And OFSS provides the brain.
That's the pitch, and it's a very compelling one.
Okay, devil's advocate again. This all sounds great, but why can't a bank just switch? If I don't like my streaming service, I cancel it. If a bank hates OFSS, why don't they just leave?
This brings us to the moat.
Yeah.
In enterprise software, we call it stickiness. And OFSS has arguably some of the stickiest software on the planet.
The chairperson made a comment about this, didn't they? About customers being with them since birth.
They did. Imagine a bank starts with one branch. They install Oracle FlexCube. That bank grows for 30 years. It now has 10,000 branches and 50 million customers.
And Oracle is still running the core.
It is the central nervous system. Replacing a core banking system is not like switching streaming services. It is like performing a heart transplant on a runner while they are in the middle of a marathon.
Wow, that sounds fatal.
It can be. If you mess up a core banking migration, people's money disappears. Transactions fail. Regulators shut you down. CEOs get fired.
You just don't do it.
You do not switch unless you absolutely have to. And that fear creates incredible security for OFSS's revenue.
That explains the investor appeal. It's so predictable.
And that stickiness allows them to upsell everything else. Oh, you're already using our core banking. Why not try our new cloud lending service? It integrates perfectly.
You hire the devil you know.
Exactly. They trap you with the core, and then they sell you the cloud and the AI on top.
That ecosystem play is powerful. So let's wrap this all up. We've gone from the financials to these terrifying AI wars. If you had to summarize this for our listener, what are the key pillars they need to remember?
Okay, I'd break it down into three things. First, the financial rock. You have the huge revenue, zero debt, and that industry-leading 35% net margin. This thing just prints cash.
Right. It's safe.
Second, the tech shift. They are not clinging to the past.
Yeah.
They're successfully moving banking to the cloud, and that 13% growth in that segment proves it's working. They're future-proofing.
Okay.
And third, real AI. It's not just buzzwords. They're using those rogue agents to harden security. They're building the immune system for the future of digital money.
It really paints a picture of a company that is quietly essential, not flashy, but the system just doesn't work without it.
Profitable boredom is how I think of it. If you have a bank account, there is a very good chance this software is keeping your money safe. For an investor, it represents stability in a really volatile world.
Gravity is a good way to put it. Invisible, but you'd definitely notice if it stopped working.
Absolutely. And that leads to the final takeaway for everyone.
The so what?
The so what is that while we are all distracted by consumer tech, the new phones and chatbots, the real revolution is happening in the back office. The infrastructure of our economy is being rewritten by AI and cloud technology, and companies like OFSS are holding the pen.
Which brings me to my final thought for everyone listening. We often look for the next big consumer app as the face of AI. But today we learned that AI is fighting AI in the background to protect the global banking system, using rogue agents to simulate heists.
It's a sci-fi movie happening in a server room.
It just begs the question, has the AI revolution already happened without us even noticing?
That's a very distinct possibility. We're just living in the results.
Something to think about next time you tap your card and the machine beeps instantly. That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.